coming into any organization, I tend to look for and look to work with young talent in the organization. Some individuals take advantage of that. Lewis took really solid advantage of the offer, and then once you're in and developing a relationship and having conversation, part of me too looks to identify talent that can be developed and groomed into leadership positions going forward. Lewis has certainly shown that to me. There's a professional side. The industry motive is that, as you're probably well aware, with all the baby boomers and leadership roles in the industry, there's the fear that a lot of us will be leaving the industry and leave a big void in leadership. So there's the business or industry purpose there. To ensure you're identifying and developing young talent. But there's also a personal motivation, as I've never forgotten and do remember that I didn't step into an airport as the aviation director. I had help along the way. There's a number of people that touched me along the way, and I was open and eager and ready to learn. And as they were giving, I was sucking it in, and it's helped me immensely in developing in my career and advancing in my career. So I look to pass that on.
As Kevin mentioned, when he came in, the initial meetings, he offered, that assistance and that relationship. And me as a person, I'm always looking to soak up anything I can. I've been like that throughout life, and surely the same way through my young professional career, and to have someone like that, it's invaluable, to be able to go in and to pitch ideas or to get sound advice and to hear the wisdom from the years of experience, it's unmatched, so, it was no question that I would definitely take advantage of that situation. So when I started 5 years ago. Started out in airport operations. After that 2.5-year stint in operations, I moved up into concessions. With the general knowledge of how an airport operates, and now to see an entirely new facility being brought up from the ground up and how that works, it's been really great.
The selfish me would want to keep young talent in the organization, but in being realistic about it and thinking of the individual, I understand that as I left, I grew much more in my profession than maybe I would have if I just stayed in one airport all along. And I think young people should take advantage of opportunity regardless of where it is. I think industry-wide, there's more of a recognition of a need to attract people into the industry and then groom the talent we have in the industry, recognizing the potential issue I spoke to earlier of there's a lot of leadership that will be leaving the industry over the next decade or so, and who's going to step in and fill all of those roles? So there's been more of a recognition of the need, more focus on the attempt to grow young talent in the industry. But for me, it's the industry needs, kind of validates part of what I'm doing. But for me, it's been more of a personal thing. Since I stepped into leadership roles to bring others along. I have fun in doing this as well. There's some things I do. There's folks that you pick up, you recognize in the organization that you can see the ability to serve the organization in different ways. In more critical roles. So some folks you're coaching, they don't even realize they're being coached. Okay. Others, like Lewis, who obviously we've developed a relationship where there's definite coaching, mentor-mentee relationship. You don't necessarily make it an easy path. There's sometimes tough lessons that an individual has to learn close to home as opposed to being exposed elsewhere. And so sometimes when you work in a project or work in an issue, there's questions that lead folks to certain answers, so you can see and make sure that a thought process is there that takes folks outside of just the technical, straightforward path, that they're looking at things from different angles and different needs. So there's ways you can question folks, ensure that critical thinking is there. But you also from time to time want to challenge something that an individual brings in and make them have to think on their feet and respond and react to being pressured or challenged on an issue. So you have a little fun with it too, but it's all about developing and growing the individual.
I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy seeking solutions and finding a bigger picture in things.